studios and welcome to the 1990 Thames Snooker Classic. A different name for this, the 6th year of the tournament, and a different sponsor as well, but the same tried and trusted formula as before. The top club players from all over the southeast of England competing for the William Hill Trophy, a first prize of £2,500, and of course the chance of doubling that by achieving the improbable victory over the world champion Steve Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome him, Steve Davis? Hi. This is becoming a regular thing here, and each year, Steve, we talk about how the standard of club players has improved. What do we say now?
Well, I think now we've got to realise that for snooker it's been 10 years of maximum exposure, and the standard has risen so high that the players you'll be seeing over the next couple of days will be professional standard, if not very close to that. And that is just reflection on how the game has succeeded.
One of them's only 14.
That's right, and it just goes to show, if you see enough snooker on the television, what you can achieve very early on. I wasn't even playing at 14, so...
Were you thinking about snooker at 14?
No, I think I was probably trying to get through some sort of exam.
And just as an added impetus, in case the players need this, Brian Morgan, who appeared in this event for 3 years, didn't actually do that well, but is now a professional, and in his first year he's reached the quarter-final of 2 ranking events, and you've knocked him out, but he's not done badly.
Well, Brian Morgan's had a fantastic year. Didn't do too great in this tournament, but just proven how good the players were that won. And he has, in his first year as a professional, had an extremely good year and can use that as a springboard.
Is it easy to become a pro?
No, it's not easy. In many ways at the moment it's a slightly closed shop as far as I'm concerned, and some of the players you're seeing over the next couple of days should really be professionals now, and hopefully in the 90s the game will open up and there'll be more professionals allowed to play.
Lovely, thanks very much, Steve. The world champion, you'll be seeing him a little later. In a few moments, it's the quarter-finals then, and a little treat for you later on in the programme, when our 2 celebrity golfers, Ian Woosnam and Sam Torrance, come face-to-face across the green bays. Tomorrow, it's the semi-finals and a confrontation between the 2 best lady players in the world. That's Alison Fisher and Anne-Marie Farron. And then on Wednesday, the climax of the Thames Snooker Classic, the final, £2,500, remember, and the William Hill Trophy at stake, and of course the challenge match against Steve Davis. But let's get underway now with the serious stuff. And there was a record entry this year of more than 2,000 players from 125 clubs across the home counties. That's been whittled down to the last 8. So without more ado, let's meet the first 2 quarter-finalists, shall we? The opening match involves 2 players of contrasting styles, but some similar achievements. Ronnie O'Sullivan from Ilford is the youngest of the 8 qualifiers. Only 14, he's already the British under-16 champion, with the highest break of 137 to his name. 10 years his senior, Steve Bentham from Mitcham was also a very successful teenager, winning the same under-16 title and becoming the youngest ever England amateur international. He also reached this stage of the tournament in 1986. It's just one frame, remember. Len Ganley, the referee.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And the commentators, John Pullman and Steve Davis.
So the 4th and last quarter-final match gets underway, and to break off, 14-year-old Ronnie O'Sullivan, a schoolboy from Ilford. And his opponent, 10 years his senior, Steve Bentham. Steve from Mitcham.
Great shot there from Ronnie O'Sullivan, 14 years of age, studying at school at the moment, advanced positional play.
8.
Tremendously exciting prospect, been on the scene for 3 or 4 years now, and most of the players know about the capabilities of this young lad, but Steve Bentham, his opponent, no slouch either.
9.
Both these players would have been a bit upset that they drew each other in the first round. Amongst the favourites for this snooker classic this year, the William Hill.
16. 17.
Very confident start here by Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen this young man, Steve, and already I'm terribly impressed.
23.
That's right, he doesn't really look like a 14-year-old at all, does he?
He certainly doesn't. I'm told that he already has the highest personal break of 137. Well, obviously he's a very mature player, although he's only 14 years of age.
29. $36. 37.
And tremendous cue power this young lad has got. Without hitting the balls hard, he gets tremendous screw into the cue ball, and that can only mean that he's got perfect timing on the shot. So he's already earned himself £50 with this break. Anything between 50 and 75 gets £1 a point.
51.
And like Johnny Walker, still going strong.
56. 57.
Ronnie enjoying every moment of this, I'm sure.
64. 65.
Wondering what it's all about, I would imagine.
72. 73.
Certainly feeling this crowd is Ronnie O'Sullivan. Obviously a name for the future. I'm sure you're very excited at home as well as we are here. Probably the highest break we've ever seen in the Cockney Classic, I'm not too sure.
So goes into the next bracket now. Oh, not quite actually. Just 1 point short. Should he progress
75.
further, he starts to go into 2 points, £2 per point. A break from 76 to 100 qualifies for £2 per point. Well, he didn't quite make that, but what a fantastic start from this young man. Leading by 75 points to nil. Only a possible 59 on the table.
But that was the end of the match as a contest. A few moments later, young Ronnie was wrapping it all up in some style. Steve Bentham without a single point to his name.
18. 24.
congratulations from this young man. A resounding victory by 113 points to 0. Which Ronnie O'Sullivan will go through to the semi-final.
Well, here comes Dad, Ronnie Senior. His dad's a good snooker player, he's a good hurdler. That was a tremendous performance. Ronnie Junior, first of all. Are you really only 14?
Yeah, just 6 weeks ago.
I'm 14.
You might have a valuable property on your hands here, might you?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
How did it all start? Playing snooker.
He booked me a table for Christmas and I just started from there.
How old were you then? About 3?
No, 7.
7?
Yeah,
And you've been watching it on television over the
Yeah.
years. Who's your idol?
Steve Davis.
I thought you might say that. He said when he was 14, he wasn't even thinking about snooker. He was taking his exams.
That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Are you?
Yeah, just my third year exams.
Are you really?
Yeah.
It's not a misspent youth then. You're not spending all your time at the
No,
table.
no. Finish school first and then play snooker. Second.
Very laudable. Dad, stop running away. Come here. I know you're a bit shy. Tell me, when did you realise he might be a good snooker player?
When he was beating me.
You're pretty useful yourself, are you?
Useless. I was playing for a few quid, he was taking a few quid off me. And I turned it in there.
No nerves about being on television? As long as Dad isn't sitting in the front row, that's right, isn't it? You don't like that. So Dad knows his place, and
Yeah.
you certainly seem to know yours, Ronnie. Well done.
Thanks.
A happy family all round. Ronnie Senior flushed with pride, and Junior assured of a semi-final place against the winner of this next quarter-final. Joe Delaney is a 20-year-old from Fulham who beat Peter Ebden, one of the leading amateurs in the country, to reach these quarter-final stages. He works for P&O as a charge hand caterer and has a highest break of 127. Facing him, Pat Kenny from Kidbrooke in southeast London. He reached the last 16 of the Pro Ticket qualifiers last September, only one match away from a possible place in the professional ranks. But tonight he's really up against it. With only the colours remaining, Joe Delaney leads by 36 points, so Pat needs 3 snookers. Joe's in trouble here, though. He can't see the yellow.
Ball stroke, 4, and a miss. Pat Kenny.
Well, a rather strange decision by Len there, but he's the referee.
Yes, I would think so, Steve. I thought that warranted going a miss, but a miss he's declared, so 4 points are given away, and Joe Delaney back in the same position. Have another go. Oh, and this time he's given 7 away,
Ball
so
stroke,
perhaps
7,
this frame not over yet.
Pat Kenny.
Well, I'm not too sure why that wasn't a miss and the other one was. But I'm sure Len will tell us afterwards.
Well, that is an interesting point, Steve, because he was further out the second time than he was the first. But the important thing is that Pat Kenny can now win. $23 points the difference now, with 25 points on the table.
Good shot. 2, Pat Kenny. Ball stroke, 4, Pat Kenny.
So, quite a turnaround in the fortunes of this frame.
Well, Pat's been thrown a lifeline from Len, and if he wins this, he may make the next Christmas on The Great Escape. Joe pots this, he goes 22 points in front, with 22 points on the table, of course. So he would like to get on the brown, and as you can probably see from the angle, if he does pot the green, he's taking the white ball away from the brown, so see what he can manufacture.
Three. Joe Delaney, 3.
Well, the brown is potable, but it's a very difficult shot with that cue ball being right on the knuckle of the middle pocket there. And it's a good shot.
4. Pat Kenny, 4.
Difficult shot there from Pat. He went for it with everything he had, and he hasn't necessarily lost the game because of it. Joe still has to pot one more of these 3 balls. I must be feeling the pressure just a little bit more than he did earlier on. Probably can feel a bit hard done by, but he mustn't let that worry him. He's got to get on with this match in the last 3 balls.
What about that cue ball? Oh dear, dear, dear. What bad luck that was.
5. Pat Kenny.
So this frame's certainly not without incident.
Thank you.
Pat Kenny now on his 3rd life. Pat the Cat Kenny.
You're really sorting them out here, Steve, aren't you? 13 points of difference, 18 points on the table.
5.
Leads pink and black. Well, nice straight pink. He can screw back to at least where the cue ball is at the moment. He'll have a chance of the black. Oh, did he get into that one, Master? Oh, would you believe this? All on the black, and Pat Kenny with the first chance of it. So after a very extraordinary frame of snooker, it's Pat Kenny who goes through to the semi-final.
Joe, you seem to have that all sewn up.
Well, yeah, I sent to myself, but I thought myself, well, look, I enjoy snooker, I'm never ever going to change, so I thought, just go for the balls, didn't go in, stuck him up, and that was the end of the conversation, basically.
You're still enjoying snooker?
Enjoy it immensely. I don't
Even when
mind.
you lose?
Even when I lose, even when. I mean, you've got to keep them smiling, that's my policy.
I just couldn't get going in the beginning, and when I put the red and the pink and came out the table, or rather I put a good red and black, and when I got the snook on the yellow, I started to believe I could do it.
The critical moment, of course, was when Len Ganley called that miss on your shot, wasn't it?
I was surprised. I was definitely putting the cue ball back anyway. Wasn't going nowhere else, it was going back.
What's your reaction to that one, Joe?
Well, as it happens, as misses goes, I was very, very surprised that the first one, I thought the second one should definitely be put back, but the first one was, I thought, a little bit on the borderline towards in my favour. I thought, that's just my personal opinion. I thought, I'm not trying to say Len, I mean, Len's a great referee, I'm not trying to say anything about it, but I thought that situation, right, Len, that's it.
He's all right. He seems to be okay.
I just, from my actual point of view, I thought I got quite close to it. Obviously not too close, but if he was going to put anything back, he should have put a second one back because that was absolute miles away in my point of view. But I'm not happy. The decision was his, and that ended the conversation.
You agree with that, though, don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Anyway, you're through to the semi-final. Congratulations. It's a match we'll certainly remember. So that's the first semi-final place decided. Pat Kenny, the escapologist from southeast London, against Ronnie O'Sullivan, the 14-year-old phenomenon from Ilford in Essex. The last 2 quarter-finals coming up next. See you then. Welcome back to Teddington Studios, and my goodness, what drama we've seen here so far. Pat Kenny coming back from the dead to claim his place in the semi-final, and Ronnie O'Sullivan at 14, the youngest player we've ever seen in this tournament, making the highest break in the 6-year history of the event, 75. Well, in a moment we'll see how the other half looks. Let's go ahead now with the third quarter-final. Could it possibly match that? 17-year-old Michael Pace is a High Wycombe schoolboy whose main interest, apart from snooker that is singing in the choir of his local church. He won through to this stage of the competition thanks to a break of 71 in his second round match. His opponent, Daniel Smith from Hornsey, is younger still, only 16, but already a full-time snooker player. He has a highest break of 131, with at least 30 others of more than a ton. Like all the other players here, his ambition is to join the professional snooker ranks. As we join the match, he's established a 22-point lead, but it's Michael to play.
Ball stroke.
You might be a little bit embarrassed about that, but it won't have cost him too many points.
I think they call those extras at cricket. Useful little fluke there, gets him away.
Tackle.
Very good shot there from Michael Pace, and let's see what he can do from this position. Could well score a few points if he can get himself going.
Yes, I think you'd fancy getting one or two there, Steve, wouldn't you? He played a very good second shot, actually, after the initial fluke red, and he's created an opening for himself. And needs to take full advantage here, because of course he was
16.
well behind, just 10 points adrift now.
$23.
And I see from my notes here that he's a choir boy at St Wolstan's Church. So perhaps he's coming on song here.
24.
Sure, it's the first time he's actually heard that one, John. Getting a bit more difficult now for position, but let's see what he can do.
$31.
Michael Pace goes 5 points in front now.
Ball stroke.
Immediately gives 4 of them back.
Michael Pierce,
So just 1
31.
point of difference in Michael Pace's favour.
Michael just getting his nose in front for the first time. As we rejoin the frame, Daniel has slipped further behind. He now trails by 15, but with 1 red left, there's still plenty on the table.
Big ball for Daniel coming up. Has a chance to stun this red into the corner, and then would be in a nice position to clear the colours. Big ball.
He's got the pink on into the middle, but it might be better to play the brown and stun into the green. That would keep him onto the yellow. How old the head is on their shoulders? Well, he's taking the pink. Well, that's going to make it far more difficult to get onto the yellow.
7.
Eight points in the game, and now certain to be decided on the higher colours.
7. Daniel Smith. Michael Pearce 50, Daniel Smith 42.
Well, certainly had the better of the run in this game, Michael, and left himself a good chance to pot the green for easy position on the brown.
5.
13 points in front, needs the blue to win the match.
9.
Well, hasn't got particularly well on the blue there, so the frame not over yet.
14. Ronnie,
Michael Coates, who got off to a bad start, but came through and eventually won the frame.
I was quite pleased where I played, but it was the gods were on my side today, I think. Definitely on my side.
And who'll be favoured in the fourth quarter-final between two really ancient 24-year-olds? Romford's Nicky Lazarus has the better pedigree, including victory in the first year of this tournament in 1985, when he went on to do the impossible and defeat Steve Davis in the challenge. He's also scored a maximum 147. Gillingham's Dean Alder is champion of the Chatham Snooker Club with a highest break of 143. He's a former Kent Under-21 champion and Kent Pairs champion and works as a sales rep for a crisp manufacturer. He's not off to a crisp start, however. 21 points behind, but with one red still left, he has a good chance of getting right back into the frame.
What a golden opportunity that was. Now, will this sneak in? Didn't want to know about it.
Now the decision comes whether to try for the red or to keep playing the safety shots.
Dean Alder 28, Nick Lazarus 49.
A long way out with that, but I think you'll be delighted with the result. And in the one-frame matches, you do need a bit of luck. Dean will be able to clip this red. Possibly... No, sorry, you can't. No. Looks like he's going to have to trust to luck.
Ball stroke. 5, Nick Lazarus.
26 points in front now, Nicky Lazarus, and with the added advantage of the blue ball
Nick
going
Lazarus
into a
54,
safety position,
Dean Alder 28.
we'll feel a lot happier.
it certainly seems to be coming Nicky Lazarus's way, since it can't be very far off a snooker again.
Well, as so often happens with one red left on the table and the colours in snooker in positions, we're seeing some good safety shots being played and some good returns. Great shot that was.
One.
This black would mean that Dean needs snookers.
Yes, I would think that last red must be the winning shot of the frame there, Steve.
8. Running total.
34 points the
62,
difference now, with
28.
just 27 on the table.
Nicky Lazarus.
That was it, really. Dean was unable to pull back the snookers he needed, so Romford's Nicky Lazarus, the winner of this tournament in its first year back in 1985, goes through to complete the semi-final lineup. Is he a better player now than he was 5 years ago?
Yes, I think so. But, yeah, I must be.
In that case, nobody else has got a chance, have they?
Of course they have, yeah, otherwise they wouldn't be here, would they?
Well, there we are, some tremendous action in those quarterfinals, Steve, but the obvious question is, what do you make of Ronnie O'Sullivan? Only 14 6 weeks ago.
That's right, a great player, and I've played him in a couple of exhibition matches and proved today that he can do it in front of the cameras, and I don't really think that even Stephen Henry was putting the no sort of breaks on the television at 14.
And watching him, he seemed so cool.
Yes.
He knew exactly what he had to do, and he did it fairly quickly as well, didn't he? Made it look easy, as you said.
That's right, and I think everybody at home will be waiting to see what happens in the semi-final, because see if he can do it again.
Thank you very much, Steve. Well, coming up next, two of the world's outstanding sportsmen who are very good at putting balls into holes, although it's not exactly snooker. See you soon. Welcome back, and now a little break from the serious stuff. You know, most snooker players dabble in golf, especially those with a bit of time on their hands, and occasionally the shoe's on the other foot. Golfers dabble in snooker, especially Ian Woosnam and Sam Torrance, two of the world's finest players and veterans, of course, of the Ryder Cup. Now, Ian, who's only 5 feet 5 inches tall, is reckoned to be just about the biggest hitter in the game, golf that is, and Sam, I'm sure you remember, made that winning putt at the Belfry in 1985 to usher in a new era for British and European golf. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Woosnam and Sam Torrance. Good to see you. Now then, how good are you at snooker, Ian, modesty apart?
I would say about a 24 handicap, I would have thought.
That's when you're playing home. Sam?
Yes, definitely.
Seriously, what's your highest break?
51.
Well, that ain't too bad. Can you top that, Sam?
Just a little bit, yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Go on, go on.
I've had a 90, but...
Last week that was, are you telling me?
Well, a week's a long time in golf, isn't it, and snooker? Are you looking forward to this one, then?
Absolutely. When they asked me to do this, I threatened to kill him, and he said no.
Shall we sort out the handicap, then, or how are we going to do this point system between you? What are we going to do, Ian? What do you suggest?
Well, I wanted at least 40 head start, really.
At least 40.
50's out of 90, that's 40, isn't it?
40 seems a bit generous, Sam. What do you think?
Well, he was told to say 30, so I'll say a level game.
I'll tell you what, why don't we have a compromise of around, what, 20, shall we say, something like that? Does that suit you?
Okay, all right.
You still think you can do it?
Not really, but I'll have to do my best. You heard about golf being slow, haven't you? Sam's about as slow as Bernard Langer.
Much cheeky as you, though. Shot.
Well, how about that for a first red?
One.
Any professional would have been happy to get that one. No, I don't mean a golf professional.
Who's in the start here?
I'm a bit lucky there.
Lucky.
Come on, caddy.
Four.
Get in. Snooker.
Four. Ian Woosnam.
Thanks, Wiz.
One.
Brown ball.
Brown ball.
That could have done with being a bit harder to come back for the reds. Possibly snick this one into the middle, but it's a bit thin.
Six.
Black ball. No.
Ian Woosnam. 6.
Oh, 19 points the difference now, so Sam Torrance has only caught up one from his 20-point start. Oh, what a great shot.
Yep.
7. Eight.
Nice to see Sam looking around for a bit of positional play there. Surprising, because wearing one of Perry Manns' old waistcoats, and Perry wasn't renowned for his positional play.
Black ball.
So at last Sam Torrance running into a bit of form here.
15.
Just 4 points the difference now.
16.
He's getting lucky now.
Blue ball.
A very respectable break building up here, John.
21.
Yes, and Sam has taken the lead for the first time. 2 points in front now. Still going strong.
22.
Well, still another red to come.
27. Goes easy. 28.
Well, 34, very impressive.
You're way in front now, Sam. Take it easy.
34.
Ian feeling the pressure there.
I told you 20 wasn't enough. He's trying to play snooker on me now.
Sam Torrance. 34.
Very creditable performance there for the Sam Torrance.
Four. Ian Woosnam. 4.
What was that wee swear one?
Sam Torrance. 56. Ian Woosnam. 51.
Yeah.
5.
So Sam Torrance 10 points in front. 1 ball required.
Oh, don't get lucky.
Just get safe, don't get lucky.
Oh, no. Oh.
That's all right, I'll get it for you. Why did he have to have such short legs?
Be all right when I grow up, won't I? I don't think I can reach it. No, I'm not going to be able to reach that. Got an extension. What are we on?
Yes, I think Ian will very nearly need to call in the fire brigade for this one.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Oh,
Do it like the professionals, please.
that's how they go on it. Is that right, Steve? Okay.
Wait now, I'll take this little small thing out of your road.
That's his leg.
Oh, get lucky. Oh.
Had that gone in, he was nicely on the black.
Hey, oh!
That's the one that got it, and it's Sam Torrance who wins on the 17th.
It doesn't need it, do it?
That's 13 in first frame.
First blood to Scotland then in this best of 3 frame match. Ian Woosnam had his start increased to 30 in the second frame, but was soon in trouble. His lead down to just 4 points.
Cannon. I thought you meant a cannon there. One.
Did you see that one? Dennis told me that one. Told me that one.
Dennis Thatcher.
Black ball.
Excuse me, Mr. Torrance, he's going for the black ball, please.
Thank you, Len.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh,
One.
put me off there. Put me off.
If I'd have known that Ian was going to put you off like that.
Put me off. Oh, Jesus.
Well done, ref. I don't think it made much difference. It did put me off, I know. That's when the clubs go flying, as he says.
Because if we played golf like this, we wouldn't have any clubs left. Good ball.
Four. Five.
Now the frame all square. 44 points all.
Black.
generous round of applause for that one. Certainly worked that well.
It's all right, I go and cry after.
13.
Ball.
Sam Torrance.
Play this one very gently, should be nicely on the green.
Yeah.
6.
14-point lead.
9.
Now 17, and the brown nicely over the corner pocket.
9.
But not
Sam
nicely in the
Torrance.
pocket.
Ian Woosnam 44, Sam Torrance 61.
Ian can still win with the 4 balls.
A little rest, of course.
She carried this around my back, you know. Just pull it out. I want it.
Shot in.
4. Ian Woosnam.
Hang on. Hang on, Red.
Was teenage chances.
Good shot. Look at this. Perfect.
5. Sam Torrance.
What's the score?
You need 1 snooker, Mr. Woosnam?
18 points the difference, only 13 on the table. 1 snooker required. That's not far out, we'll travel.
That's a little Welsh kid.
I don't think he attempted that ball. Deliberate miss.
Foul stroke.
Foul stroke.
6.
Play it again, thanks, Ian.
No.
Oh, I didn't think he
You
hit.
couldn't pass this up in, you can still win
What's
the
this?
frame here.
All right.
It's 50 plays, 54.
Pink and black, Woods.
12.
12 points the
Someone doing
difference,
well.
13 points on the table. Needs the pink and black.
6.
It's not the rest again, is it?
It is.
It might be the extension again as well, I think.
Extension.
It's born with short legs. Oh, too hard. Woo!
Well, I wonder whether
6.
he'll give him that or
Ian
not.
Woosnam.
No, he's making him play it.
Sam Torrance takes the second frame and wins the match by 2 frames to 0.
It was a bit touch and go there, wasn't it, whether we're going to go into a 3rd frame?
Well, that's right, you know, and I played a bad shot in the last black there and didn't quite know what to do with it. I thought I might have gone in off. I wanted to play it back up the table. I was a bit scared of going in off.
Do you think you'll stick to golf, though, do you?
Definitely, you know, but, you know, obviously Sam's much older than me and he spent much more practicing.
Well, we won't go into that any further. Is it true you got up in the middle of the night or sometime to stand on your snooker table and practice your putting?
Yep. Yeah, well, you can't get anything truer than that. If greens were like that, we'd all be a lot better putters. So if you can hit it straight into the pocket there, you must know you can putt.
Did you take your spikes off?
Yeah.
You did.
Slippers on, the spikes off.
Steve, what do you make of that? Have they got a chance?
Well, Sam is probably the best player we've seen, a
Yes.
celebrity player we've seen on the Cockney Classic and this Classic here, and Ian isn't.
I tell you what, he came second, didn't he? It wasn't bad.
By far not the worst player we've ever seen, and a great snooker as well, and the chance to clear
Wasn't
up
it,
with it.
Jeff?
Yeah,
That was a
fantastic
great
snooker.
snooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all thought that was over, but you had something up your sleeve. Anyway, let's look ahead, shall we, to the semi-finals tomorrow, Steve, and tell me who you fancy to get through.
Difficult to say because they're all four fantastic players.
Yes.
I think the track records would point to perhaps Nicky Lazarus and
Yes.
Ronnie O'Sullivan after his tremendous 75 in the first round. But you never know, one frame could be anybody's.
Thanks very much indeed, gentlemen. Well, that concludes the entertainment for now, but a tremendous day in prospect tomorrow, the semi-finals of the Thames Snooker Classic, and one of the questions to be answered is, have we possibly unearthed another Stephen Hendry in 14-year-old Ronnie O'Sullivan? I wonder. Well, as well, by way of a bonus tomorrow, a confrontation between the two best women players in the world, Alison Fisher, who's the current world champion, and Anne-Marie Farron, who ran her a very close second. That's tomorrow, 11:35. See you then. Bye-bye.
Certainly thrilling this crowd is Ronnie O'Sullivan. Obviously a name for the future. I'm sure you're very excited at home as well as we are here. Probably the highest break we've ever seen in the Cockney Classic, I'm not too sure.
Should he progress
75.
further, he starts to go into 2 points, £2 per point. A break from 76 to 100 qualifies for £2 per point. Well, he didn't quite make that, but what a fantastic start from this young man, leading by 75 points to 0.
Well, the place still buzzing after that phenomenal performance by Ronnie O'Sullivan, only 6 weeks after his 14th birthday. He already had a fearsome reputation on the club circuit, but after that blistering break of 75, the highest ever in this event, in his first appearance on television, well, the secret's out, isn't it? And you have to say what a valuable property we've been admiring. We've reached the semi-final stages of this £2,500 tournament for the William Hill Trophy, and the time-honoured opportunity for the winner to double his money if, and it's a rather large if, he can topple the 6 times and reigning world champion, Steve Davis. Well, can anyone topple the 6 times and reigning world champion, Steve Davis?
Well, it's a one-frame match, and the standard of the snooker we've seen already so far has proven I think you can. And, of course, it's happened twice before in this tournament, and I don't intend for it to happen again, but you never know. There's some great players playing in this tournament.
You're going to have to put some practice in then, perhaps.
That's right. Well, in between tonight and tomorrow night.
You'll be there.
I shall be.
Well, let's have a look at the semi-finalists one by one, Steve, starting with Pat the Cat.
Yes, Pat Kenny played great, I think, to come back from almost certain defeat. And even though I'm sure there will be lots of people saying that he shouldn't be in the semi-finals, he's there, and he's there on merit in the end because he potted the balls eventually, and he's there.
And he played very well. Ronnie, the schoolboy, we've already mentioned, only just 14.
Yes, and brilliant. Fantastic performance. People said, well, the balls were in nice positions, but you still got to pot them. And he never gives Steve Bentham a chance.
OK, that brings us on to Michael, the choir boy.
The underdog of the four, but took his chance very well in the first match of the quarter-finals, and improving all the time, I think, and had a great frame.
Last but not least, the man who won this event 5 years ago, Nicky, the laser beam.
Yes, obviously the favourite in many ways, got a track record, and he actually went on to beat the professional that year and double his money. I can't remember who the player was, but it was a good it was a good performance. But Nicky's a great player, and I know very well that because apart from beating me in this particular tournament, he also made a 147 against me in a competitive frame we play in practice. So it's very difficult to say who's got the best chance, but it's one frame snooker at this stage, and two semi-finals I'm sure we'll all be enjoying watching.
As well as the semis tonight, a unique chance to see the two women who've dominated the female scene for the last 5 years. Alison Fisher, the reigning world champion, and Anne-Marie Farron, who ran her so close in last year's World Championship. They meet over the best of 3 frames a little later, but now it's time for the action to begin. Len Ganley, it's over to you.
Pat Kenny to break.
So off we go for the semi-final match. Pat Kenny breaks off. Oh.
Ball stroke.
Well, a little bit unusual, but it has been done before.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Gives 4 points away with his initial stroke. And coming to the table, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the new whiz kid of snooker. Just 14 years of age. So just a 1 frame semi-final. And Pat Kenny, of course, the man who came back from the dead almost to win his quarter-final match. Ronnie O'Sullivan, as I said before, 14 years of age, still a schoolboy, of course, and comes from Ilford. And has won through to this stage of the competition from the Barking Snooker Centre.
One.
Very good opening red there from Pat Kenny.
Six. $11.
Well, that looks to have come quite favourably. The red will pass the other one into the corner pocket. Must be
12.
nicely on the black, and quite a good chance here to collect a few points.
$19.
It was during a family holiday at Ponton's holiday camp that this young man first was introduced to snooker. He won a competition and eventually played Ray Reardon, which really gave him a taste for the game.
Yes, John, I'm sure that the tables at Pontin's holiday camp weren't as fast as this match cloth, and superb quality overscrewed that ball by a long way, and they've actually played a push shot there.
19. Hot Kenny.
And well, don't believe that that wasn't called as a push shot. Still, an incredible amount of topspin he got on the ball there.
I'm just as amazed as you are there, Steve, but anyway, it's one he got away with. And you were saying about difference in the tables. I think the only similarity between this and the tables and the holiday accounts would probably be in the shape.
One.
Looks like the black just goes. Reds are all split up. An important shot for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Going back to the tables at the holiday camps, John, I was told once upon a time by John Virgo that the only reason they were on there were to keep the balls from falling on the floor. The cushions, of course.
One.
Yes, there have been all sorts of things said over the years, Steve, about that. But still create a lot of fun for a lot of people. That's the main thing.
And we're seeing a slightly more fluent Pat Kenny in his second match here in the William Hill Snooker Classic. First game was a bit scrappy and he was very lucky to get through, but now I think we're seeing a little bit more of the best of him.
7.
Yes, he's certainly got a great chance here. He's already 21 points in front. Obviously, the black right over the pocket and several loose reds, so could really do himself a bit of good, yeah?
$14. 15. 22. 23.
Once again there, John, misjudging the amount of screw back.
Yes, well, as you mentioned before, these conditions are so much more lively than your normal club table, and it's very easy to overhit the ball.
And of course another reason, probably the balls being a new set, have just that bit more bounce to them as well.
Green ball.
Yeah, this young man certainly seems to have got his potting books on. Lead now stretches to 40 points. That's still 7 reds on the table.
27.
Well, a dangerous shot there from Pat, but he got it and still in position. And looking ominous here for a place in the final.
Hot Kenny, 27.
Well, that could have been the chance. Missed.
A reprieve.
Reprieve for Ronnie. The gap is now 33 points and a chance to get back into the match.
1.
Now pink into the middle. And once again, slightly overhit that. Might have to be a little straighter on the red into the middle pocket.
Just trying to work out whether it's worth cannoning into the pink or the red or going to miss them. Place to miss them.
8.
Well judged.
The black into the middle pocket. If he just runs through with this, it'll come off the side cushion nicely onto the red that's by the pink.
15.
Good chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Didn't look in it when Pat missed the brown, but now
16.
looking like he was in the first frame.
The last two reds on the table, and Ronnie O'Sullivan just 10 points
23.
behind now. So can play to get on the brown here.
31.
Well, he screwed that a little too much perhaps, but the yellow will do.
Yes, John, and really he wanted the brown out of the way. The green will be more difficult to get position on. Trying to screw back for the yellow. Good position here could be fatal for Pat.
35.
Well, that wriggled a bit, but it did drop. And Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 points in front now as we're on the green, 25 points on the table.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 37. Pat Kenny, 46. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 50.
Decided against the pot there. And possibly a good judge, as the table being very fast may have been very difficult to hold for the brown.
Well, not applause there for Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he's left the green on.
3.
Cue ball a little closer to the cushion than Pat would have liked. Just 1 point the difference at this stage.
7.
Well, here's a big decision. Does Pat Kenny decide to take a chance and go for the cut? Or will he decide, as he did with the green, to send the blue up the table?
Pat Kenny, 7. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 50. Pat Kenny, 53.
So Pat Kenny now with a 3-point advantage.
shot here for Ronnie would be to cut it in off the side and bottom cushions. Played it the right way, and of course putting the white ball down here, always the chance of the safety shot. This game, anybody's. Clever shot, that.
Yes, I was thinking to myself, Steve, I think these chaps really benefit from watching you fellas on television.
Yes, that's the trouble, John.
That looks safe enough. Very exciting stuff here at the end of this semi-final. Just 3 balls left on the table and only 3 points separating the 2 players.
Another very good shot there from Pat. And it's getting to the stage really where there isn't that much difference at all between the top professionals and the top amateurs. There really is such a high standard. It seems a shame that the game couldn't be opened up somehow.
Well, that could be a bit disastrous. Pat Kenny here with the match within his grasp. Needs blue and pink.
5.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't play for the pink in the corner pocket. He's played for it in the middle pocket. Should be able to pot this, but he's not dead straight on it.
So that's the one that matters, and it's Pat Kenny who goes through to the final.
Well, we wondered if we could better yesterday's performances, but Pat, that really was a fantastic match, wasn't it? It had everything.
Was I thought I had a chance first beginning of the frame when I broke off and winning up, and he missed a long red.
What a difference from your previous match, where really you should have gone out.
Should have been the first match, but I just never give up hope. You know, I didn't get going in the beginning of the frame, and I thought if I can get a few points and start getting the snookers, I can win it.
Ronnie, we built you up yesterday, rightly so, after that break of 75. Were you nervous today when it began to not go completely your way?
I think everyone's nervous at the start of the match, but as I played so well in my first match, you could only come down.
So it didn't do you any favours in the end, then, perhaps? Well, you could have got a break of 76, couldn't you?
Yeah, but it's always hard on the one frame. Where Pat never played so well in his first match, he could progress.
Nevertheless, you're still in very much with a chance until that double kiss on the blue, that fatal move near the end.
Yeah, well, there was always a chance that was going to happen on that kind of shot. Because if I would have hit it too thick, the blue would have come up the middle of the table and given him a shot anyway. So that'd be perfect.
How did you find it in those last agonising few minutes when you were escorting the colours around the table?
Well, when I played the shot from behind and took the blue up there, I thought I had the snooker. I didn't, and he played a blinding shot to come back down. And I could just about see the corner of the blue. And as I hit it, I honestly thought when it was coming around, it was going off. But it didn't, and I got the double kiss on the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, the 14-year-old schoolboy, knocked out. And in his place, Pat Kenny, who at the ripe old age of 18, must feel as though he's nearly ready for his free bus pass. His opponent, the winner of our next semi-final. Michael Pace is 17, a fresh-faced schoolboy studying A-levels who enjoys singing in his local church choir. At 24, Nicky Lazarus is more worldly and a previous champion here with the highest break of 147, no less. And Nicky's experience showed at the start. He's potted the first 2 reds and now left Michael with a tricky little snooker to sort out.
playing this twice across the table. A very good try there, and can count himself a little unlucky that he's left a red on.
One.
Nicky Lazarus will want to leave himself relatively straight on the red, so that with his next positional shot he can get back for the pink or the blue. Well, deciding to leave the red over the pocket alone and play the straight red into the left-hand corner pocket, and then position on the pink into the middle pocket. Obviously not straight enough on this red, so now got a problem with his position possibly.
Seven.
I'm sure Mark Lazarus, his father, would have enjoyed that shot.
A good red to get rid of this. Once this red is out of the way, the black will go into
15.
both corner pockets. Makes life a little easier. So, a very, very good start by
22.
Nicky Lazarus. 24 points in front already. And should be some more to come. So, extensions to cue, extensions to rest.
$23.
Yes, the latest innovation in the game of snooker, the three-quarter length cue. It's only taken 80 years before we've worked out how to play good shots with the half butts.
Yes, I wish they'd thought of that when I was struggling, Steve.
Getting a good rhythm here. Not rushing,
30.
but still being fluent. And 30 points on the board already.
$31.
Decided there to split the pack early, John.
Yes, he got the angle there to do that, of course, Steve, but there was the one red on the top cushions he could have held for. It hasn't worked out terribly well for him. I think he'll play the safety straight next. Always take that chance, of course, when going into the pack of reds. They may come beautifully, or there may be nothing left at all. He's got a lead of 40 points, so he would do well to just play a safety stroke here, I would think.
Yes, I think the problem with the red he looked at there was he was going to split into the red. He doesn't really want to open them for Michael Pace, so playing the thin chip down the table, and this looks fairly good.
Nicky Lazarus, 38.
Yes, I'm quite sure I'll be happy with that. Michael Pace tapping the table there, an acknowledgement of a good safety stroke. He's snookered on all reds.
Another good attempt, the second time he's had to get out of a snooker in succession.
Michael escaped, but still frozen out of the scoring.
Foul stroke. 5, Nicky Lazarus. 4, Michael Pitts.
50 points the difference now. 59 points on the table. The black were taken with all 4 reds.
I think we'll find Nicky Lazarus taking on the long red to just go past the green. Should be game ball, I think, if he putted it. Not obviously on a colour. The yellow is safe, the black's safe. He's 51 points in front.
Blue ball.
He can put the blue ball safe. It's looking good. And that's even better.
Six. Six, Nicky Lazarus.
So 56 points the difference now, with only a possible 51 on the table.
And that was enough to take Nicky to his second final. So here you are in the final again. Memories, inevitably, of 1985 when you won the tournament.
Yes.
Are you trying to put those out of your mind or something?
I didn't want to sit in that seat. It's the first time I've ever sat there, and I didn't want to sit there. But it's best of threes. When I won it, it was only 1 frame. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you like the idea of that, best of 3, or would you prefer quick shootout?
If I win the first one, then no, I don't. But if I lose it, then yeah, I do, yeah.
I'll tell you what, just give us a twirl, show us your Nigel Benn hairstyle. Very good. I think a lot of the viewers might have missed that. Was that done for a bet or something?
No, nice. I've got friends who own air construction in Romford, and they come up with it. They come up with the idea of doing it.
Advert in there.
Got a quick advert in there
all right,
for
we'll
them.
move quickly on to Dad then, Mark Lazarus, who's well known as a footballer, of course, but not a bad snooker player either.
Just
modesty apart.
A little bit above average, I should think.
What's your highest break?
106.
Say no more. You've topped that, of course, haven't you? But did you get the inspiration from your dad to play snooker?
Yeah. All the sports I play, I've got from him.
Are you good at other things, are you?
I'm not bad at golf.
Football?
I was quite good at football.
Just a final word from Dad, then. Can he win it again?
Yes.
Next question.
That's a quick word. But best of threes, as it is tonight, best of one frame. Anybody can win. You know, there's no favourites in this game, as you've just seen.
I did say a final word, but I didn't think it would be quite that short. Thanks very much indeed, anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So off he goes, Nick the Laser against Pat the Cat in the final, Steve. How do you think that'll turn out?
Well, I didn't think we'd seen the best of Pat Kenny in the first round, and he's still in there now with a shout and played a hell of a lot better and looked a very good prospect in his last match.
Shall I remind you that Nicky did actually beat you in the challenge match as well?
Yes,
Shall we talk
it was
about that?
me. Yeah, you're right, it was me. And it revolved around the last red in the one-frame match we played. But whoever wins the final, I'm sure that I'll have my work cut out because they're obviously very, very good players, both of them, as you can see. Top-class play, and you really can't sort of see the difference between the professionals and the amateurs these days. There's no join.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, that final to look forward to tomorrow and the challenge match, of course. But have you ever wondered why we never see women playing in major snooker tournaments? You have. Well, that day might not be too far off. You can judge for yourselves when we come back. Well, I don't know about you, but I always find it baffling that women shouldn't compete with men on pretty equal terms when it comes to non-physical sports like snooker, but somehow they don't quite. But while they're still knocking at the professional door, waiting for someone to answer, I'd like you to meet the current women's world champion and the runner-up. First of all, Alison Fisher. Hello. And Anne-Marie Farron. Let me just ask you how close you think you are to breaking into the professional ranks. I know you've been trying for some time.
Yeah, a couple of years ago I came within a couple of points of breaking in there, but I think it'll take a couple of years yet of good play against good players now and plenty of match practice.
There's no logical reason, is there, why a woman shouldn't be an equally good snooker player?
No, snooker's not a physical sport. The only thing that you really need is a lot of stamina, I think, and good concentration.
So you have to get down the gym, do you?
No, I didn't go that far.
And you were world champion at the age of 15, weren't you? 16, was it? Ah, they lied. Anyway, that was obviously a tremendous performance. You lost to Alison, of course, in the current one. How close was that?
It was, well, the first year I defended it, I lost 6-1. And the next year, the next October was 6-5. So I'll try and go one better tonight.
Can you think of any good reason why you shouldn't be a professional beating the men at some stage?
No, I don't think it matters what sex you are, as long as, you know, how talented or how much you apply yourself to the game, that's all that matters.
What's your biggest break?
118.
A lot of men would be proud of that, wouldn't they? Well, you're going to replay that World Championship final in a sense now. Best of 3 frames, so I'll let you get on with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alison was the first to show. The break 23 already and on the pink.
You see the technique and style there of Alison, no different from the top players in the game. The stance, the elbows, the cueing, and the head still. Perhaps just a little bit more subtle clothing than some of our male counterparts, John.
Yes, it's very refreshing to see 2 pretty girls playing this game. So the break goes to 36. Alison now with a 40-point lead in this first frame.
37.
This is nice to see. Ladies snooker doesn't get that much chance on television to make itself known, and it's nice that Alison has at least shown that break building is not just part of the professional men's scene. And I've played Alison on many occasions in exhibitions and best of 3 matches, and she's taken me close, winning one of the frames. Really is a very high standard. But unlucky there, she clissed that red. She didn't want that to happen.
43.
Many club players could do well to watch Alison play the game. A nice, smooth, controlled cue action. And the most important thing of all, as you'll see with this shot, after she's hit the shot, she keeps her head very, very still.
The choice here, red into either middle pocket, but the one in the left-hand middle is not going to take her onto a colour, so...
Well, she's got a good chance of continuing the break. I'm sure she'll go for it. A good chance to make a very high one here. Let's hope this goes in.
Alison Fisher, 44.
Well, a very nice effort there from Alison. Break of 44 takes her 48 points in front.
Alison Fisher, 49.
Alison taking that first frame, but Anne-Marie went ahead in the next on a break of 12.
Nicely judged.
Interesting left-handed there with the rest. John, and right-handed playing normal shots. A lot of players, same as Tony Mio.
Well, you say the same as Tony Mears, Steve, but in actual fact it's the reverse of Tony, of course. He's a left-handed player but uses the rest right-handed. This young lady does it the other way around. He's a right-handed player and uses the rest left-handed. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Actually, I was talking about Tony in practice, because he's actually right-handed in practice and left-handed with the rest. But although we jest, Anne-Marie Farron on a very nice break and looking just as good as Alison in the first frame, and no wonder they've had such a titanic struggle in their World Championships just recently. Two very accomplished players we're seeing here.
28.
Slightly awkward this one, bridging over the top of the two reds, hitting down on the ball. Won't be attempting anything clever here.
29.
So that long straight blue takes Anne-Marie into a 38-point lead.
Anne-Marie Farron, 34.
And that took Anne-Marie into a commanding position in the second frame, and she duly squared the match. So, at one frame all, both players going for their shots in the decider.
Well, I think we're going for it here. This is a difficult cut. Could pay dividends. Won't really be able to control the white ball that well, but there's plenty of reds up the top of the table.
One.
Great shot there from Allison. Too good, really, in many ways. Really got hold of that ball.
Well, she's going to have a go at this long brown.
Well, that was a superb shot.
Five.
I'm not too sure if she would have tried that in the World Championships.
And another excellent pot there from Allison. Takes her 6 points in front now.
Allison just ahead, but a golden opportunity now for Anne-Marie.
Here's a very definite chance for a clearance. All the balls are very nicely positioned. And John, with those two colours there, the green and the brown, some very interesting safety shots can be played.
Well, that's right, Steve. Once again, there's a little trundle on here. Must get behind brown and green, one would think. We're sending the red towards the top pocket, but I should think the snooker is pretty certain. And she thought so too. Now, is there room to go between the brown and green?
Well, if there is, John, she may well be able to pot the red. In fact, if she can get through the gap, it's probably all she can do.
Ball stroke. Four.
Once again, a bit of ill fortune there for Anne-Marie. Allison now 10 points in front. And we're obviously taking no prisoners tonight.
Anne-Marie
the
Farn,
snooker
27. Alison Fisher, 37.
Once again, the chance of the pot won't really be able to control the white ball. It could go careering into the green and brown.
Ball stroke.
It's a very unfortunate shot. She may have left a free ball. It depends where the white ball can spot. If Len Gandy can get the white ball in there behind the yellow, it's not a free ball.
Four. Alison Fisher.
Anybody's still arguing that rule at home. Of course, if the white ball was touching the yellow ball, effectively, whichever way you played away from it, you'd be able to hit both sides of it. Doesn't really seem to make too much sense, but it's, you can imagine yourself a hair away from it.
Perhaps not too difficult to hit this yellow via the top cushion. But where is it going to finish? That is the point. Well, no damage done.
Of course, can try the pot into the corner pocket, but I doubt very much if Anne-Marie will attempt that. Difficult to keep on the green then. Be looking for some form of safety shot. Would be upset if she didn't get a snooker from this.
Well, Alison having to swerve this.
Ball stroke, 4, Anne-Marie Fant.
Back to 10 points behind for Anne-Marie. And a long shot I feel she will try. She's been going for this type of ball all the match. Not afraid to go for that. Sizing up where the green would be nice and easy to be potted from.
Well, this has got to be a great chance for Alison. There's a bit of angle on this, so should be able to get down somewhere near the green.
Yes, John, and she only needs the brown ball to make her 19 points in front.
2.
There won't be any heroics with this shot. And her blouse may be dangerously close to the pink there.
Nine.
Alison effectively winning the match with that brown, which meant that Anne-Marie needed a snooker to win. She couldn't manage it. The reigning world champion beating off another determined challenge from her closest rival in the ladies' game. Alison confirming her position then as world number 1, and both players delighting the large crowd with their polished play. Well, Alison, that world final, you said, was a little too close for comfort, and we had it all over again there, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely the same as the world final, that frame.
Yes, you played very well, both of you, in the first 2 frames. That last one got a little bit sticky, didn't it?
Yeah, I played well in the first. Anne-Marie sort of played well in the second, and then, you know, we both had our chances in the last.
Bad luck there. Did you feel that the luck wasn't with you at all in that last frame?
Well, all I can remember is the chance on the yellow, really, that I missed. But, yeah, it was, you know, that's the way it goes.
You don't play on television very often, do you? How did you feel in front of the cameras?
I felt a bit nervous, actually.
What about, I mean, you don't play that often, do you? Even though you're the world champion.
Yeah, it's just a shame that sort of ladies snooker isn't covered more often and we don't get opportunities like this. And it's a shame that it's sort of too few frames, really, for us to get into a match.
Tell me honestly, you beat men quite often on your trips around the country. But is there more pressure when you're playing against another woman?
I think there is a different sort of kind of pressure. When we play against a man, you're sort of, I suppose, considered the underdog. And you play your own game and, you know, you're given fewer chances, I suspect, against some men. And I sort of enjoy that game because you're given those few chances and you have to make the most of it. When you play a lady, it's a little bit different, really, because you don't know what's going to happen in a game.
All right, well, let's have some applause, shall we, ladies and gentlemen, for our world champion and the runner-up. Thank you very much. Right, on that note, we bid you good night from the studios here in Teddington and look forward to your company tomorrow when we reach the climax of this tournament. It's Nikki Lazarus against Pat Kenny in the final. Not forgetting, of course, the annual challenge match between the new champion, whoever that might be, and Steve Davis, the world number 1. Let me just remind you that twice in the last 5 years, the inconceivable has happened. Yes, someone has actually beaten Steve Davis. On that thought, we leave you. Good night. See you tomorrow.
You're watching Thames Television. Now it's the last in the series of 3 programmes of Thames Snooker Classic.
£2,500 at stake and the William Hill Trophy as we approach the climax of the Thames Snooker Classic 1990. Hello and welcome to a packed arena here at Teddington. More than 2,000 players from 125 clubs across the southeast set out on the trophy trail way back in August, would you believe? Now we're down to the last 2. Apart from the trophy, the prize money and the prestige, the winner has the chance of doubling his earnings if he can beat the world #1 and the world champion, Steve Davis. And Steve, I know you've been practising at the crack of dawn this morning or something like that.
That's right, I was in the studio very early because, of course, I do the commentary along with John Pullman and then come straight from there to the final frame, so need to get my practice in early.
You obviously can't take anyone lightly then, can you, even an amateur?
Not at this standard, because the amateurs now are of professional standard, basically.
And what were you shaping up like in practice? Was it feeling good?
Well, I found out that the pockets were in the corners and the table was green and it's got 8 legs, and that's about right.
The amazing thing is that you practice anyway 5, 6, 7 hours a day, don't you, for tournament play? And even for an event like this, you're still practising.
Well, that's right, and not just for this event, but also to keep your standard up as high as possible. Just continue to practice every day. You just, hopefully that's the only way you can continue a standard.
OK, well, that challenge match to come a little later, but let's get on with the main business of the day now, the final of the 1990 Thames Snooker Classic. He's from Kidbrooke in southeast London, aged 18, Pat Kenny. And from that famous snooker nursery, the match room at Romford, the 1985 Classic champion, Nicky Lazarus. It's the best of 3 frames. John Pullman and Steve Davis to guide us through it. And here to see fair play, our tournament referee, Len Ganley.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First frame, Pat Kenny to break. Good game, Pat. Good game.
So the one we've all been waiting for, the final of the Thames Snooker Classic. Pat Kenny from Kidbrooke, southeast London, versus Nicky Lazarus from Romford. And this final, the best of 3 frames. For the William Hill Trophy and a cheque for £2,500. That's a very good way to start any final. A fluke with his very first shot. Nicky Lazarus, the 1985 winner of this competition, gets off to a good start.
Six. Seven.
I was going to say, if he brings the cue ball back, he should be on a red into the corner pocket, but he hadn't done that.
12.
Looks as if he's content to just play a safety stroke now.
Nicky Lazarus, 12.
Nicky Lazarus off to an early 12-point lead. very good defensive stroke there to just nestle into the pack. All perfectly safe. Not much you could do about that. The pot was obviously dead straight. Unfortunately, followed the red through into the pocket, so it gives 4 points away. And Pat Kenny there at 18, 6 years younger than his opponent, Nicky Lazarus. Nicky obviously far more experience. He won the 1985 Cockney Classic, as it was then known as, this tournament. And regularly practices with the man that's sitting beside me in the commentary box. None other than world champion Steve Davis. So you know a bit about Nick's play.
That's right, John. Not too aware of how good Pat actually is, but he's done very well to get to this final. Escaped very well in the first match and played a hell of a lot better in the second and looks very composed.
Pat Kenny, 1.
And both of them hoping to carve a career for themselves in the professional game of snooker. Oh, and that's a mistake. What damage has been done here? Looks like a very good opening for Nicky Lazarus.
One. Eight. 9. 16. 17.
'Interested spectator there, Nicky Lazarus' father, Mark Lazarus, former professional footballer.
25.
On the pink into the middle, but unfortunately not quite the right angle for getting nicely onto the red, but not too bad. I thought it was slightly different from that. So the break at 31 now, and still possibilities.
31. 32. Nicky Larson. One. Eight. 9.
And Pat Kenny will feel the better for potting 2 or 3 balls and get his cue arm moving.
$16.
23 points adrift now, and looks as if this red will go into the middle pocket. It's the one he played to get on, obviously.
17.
He plays these middle pocket shots pretty well.
$23. Yellow ball.
Well, that's 1 fluke each in this game, John.
26.
From Pat, it might be a bit more timely, but he's still got to putt these 2 reds.
$27.
So as we come to the last red, just 8 points the difference.
31.
Hasn't really got any sort of position, maybe trying the double, or could play the safety shot behind the blue.
Pat deciding on safety, just 8 points behind. Nicky potted the last yellow and red to extend his lead to 11. Red to extend his lead to 11, and that's where we rejoin the match. He's on the green.
Brought the cue ball up to the top end of the table, split the brown and blue slightly. How's he got the snooker?
Difficult to see from here, but it could be dangerous for Nicky. Pat can obviously pot this. Could knock the blue away and the brown and blue together there. Well, a very good shot and slightly unlucky, I feel. Didn't really know exactly what was going to happen, but made a good effort to split the two balls. But I think from the position he's in, there's a very good chance of a snooker off the bottom and side cushions behind the blue, sending the brown up the table. Bit short of pace there.
3.
Nicky with the slight advantage, 8 points in front, which means he needs 2 balls to win. Pat needs the lot.
So this final, the best of 3 frames, so it's all important to win this first frame. And here's a chance. Well, that should be the frame winner. Just needs the blue to make Pat Kenny require snookers.
Nine.
Well, in goes the pink, and it's Nicky Lazarus who leads by 1 frame to 0.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Second frame. Nicky Lazarus to break.
Leading by 1 frame to 0 in this 3-frame final. Nicky Lazarus breaks off in frame 2.
Very high standard of snooker being produced here. Very little to choose between the players in the first frame. Tremendous shot there. Fully appreciated by this very knowledgeable crowd.
And that first good red has created quite a good opportunity for Pat Kenny.
9.
Extremely good player, just 18 years of age. from Kidbrooke in southeast London. Had the highest break in competitive play of 106.
16.
Now, obviously, no mean performer. Oh dear, he'll be disappointed
16.
there.
Pat Kenny.
Excellent chance. Frittered away. I didn't expect to be back in quite so soon, I would think. A nice easy red into the middle for starters.
One.
Pat Kenny's first real introduction into competitive snooker was on a family holiday at Pontins, where he won a competition and finished up playing Ray Reardon, and that gave him a taste for the game.
Pat just checking there to see if he can get through to the black from where he's decided to try and leave the white ball. Obviously didn't go from there, so back for the lower colours. And with the black ball being covered by that red, it's made the positional side of the game slightly more difficult. With 3 or 4 loose reds, going to have some problems soon. I'm sure Pat will be very pleased with this start.
Nine.
Looks as if the pink might go. There's plenty of room for that, but he's also got the blue, and that's the one he prefers.
May have overscrewed that, John.
14. 15.
And Pat's certainly putting very well in this second frame. There's a lead now of 31 points. Of course, he's got to win this frame to stay alive.
Well, a very confident shot there.
15. Pat Kenny.
Yes, it looks, Steve, as if fortune favours the brave there, because I don't think he's left anything on.
No, and a 31-point lead. Very useful. Cutting off one half of the table with the yellow. But there is a chance of the long pot red round the back of the black to safety.
One.
And as you remarked earlier, Steve, it's a very, very high standard here from these two players. Probably the best final we've seen in this competition.
Yes, John, both these players, of course, ambitions to be professional snooker players.
Pat Kenny.
And as I've said many times, there really isn't that much difference. Possibly a little bit more consistency, but that comes with a bit more experience at the top level of the game anyway. And these players are very close to that, if not already there.
Yes, it sounds to me, Steve, as if you're trying to give yourself an out in case you lose against the winner of this match.
Exactly, John. No damage done there by Nicky. I thought for a minute Len may call a miss, but he decided against it.
No great problems here, just a little trundle into the pack, shouldn't do any damage.
Actually just having a bit of fun there myself. The miss rule is a very, very dangerous rule to interpret, and the referees have a very difficult job in working out what is considered a miss and what isn't. I think that just sizing up a plant here, I think. Thought he was going to be playing safe. Miss rule at the moment is something along the lines of, if in the referee's opinion a player hasn't made a shot in keeping with the standard of the player, whatever that means, or the standard of the game. And the standard Pat's producing at the moment in this second frame is very encouraging for his fans and supporters. Looks a lot more steady, a lot more confident than things were going against him in the first frame.
Yes, from the position of the balls now, Steve, with a 49-point lead, he could very well win the frame from this visit.
14.
Everything out in the open.
Yes, he'll be upset with himself if he gives Nicky a chance to win the frame here.
$21. $22. $29. $30.
So already past the point where Nicky Lazarus requires snooker, so this second frame virtually over now.
37.
The match tied at one frame all, and what an exciting last frame we have to look forward to. Tremendous stuff by these two players.
38.
And Nicky Lazarus there really hasn't had a look in the second frame. And Pat Kenny, on the other hand, going from strength to strength.
44.
When you think, John,
45.
it was Pat that was down and out, and 44 points behind with one red left on the table in his first match against Michael Pace, and survived a miracle to get through, and now has a great chance of winning this classic.
Oh, and what a pity he missed that black. That would have put him into the money. Over a 50 break, gets £1 a point. Oh, 81 points the difference, only a possible 35 on the table, without snookers that is. So no chance whatsoever of Nicky Lazarus winning this second frame. And this young man is potting everything at the moment.
Six. 8. 11. 15.
Well, this is really some fantastic snooker.
20. 20. And the
So
second
frame conceded, and in fantastic style, Pat Kenny levels the match at one frame all.
Welcome back to the deciding frame of this thrilling final. One frame all, no points scored. Who dare predict the outcome? It's Nicky at the table.
Well, this is certainly a tremendous final. A perfectly played stroke there from Nicky. Perhaps a little straighter on the black than he would like. Can't get the cue ball out as easy as he might have done. Got out far enough.
The stake now. On the opponent.
$16. 17.
Now has to look for another red, possibly the one on the right into the middle pocket. Coming back for what may look like a two-ball plant into the same pocket that he's just putted the black.
24. 24. Nicky Lazarus.
Well, it wasn't the wrong shot to go for, and how close it was meant it stayed in the jaws of the pocket.
1.
Slightly lost control of the white ball there, but still should have no trouble potting this black. Now left himself a problem. The red, not too difficult, but won't be too sure of exactly how the white ball's going to cannon into the balls or whether it'll miss the black. I mean, the worry of that was quite a long way away from the pot. So both players giving up opportunities early on in the frame. reverting back to a bit more safety. Obviously a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations from their friends and fans and family, and £2,500 at stake.
Yes, I don't suppose either of them have played a frame of snooker for £2,500, Steve, so that's a big occasion.
Good shot there from Pat Kenny, nowhere near as reckless as it may have looked. Pot come safety, lots of deep screw on that shot. Both these young players got very good composure. Obviously a lot of experience around the London scene on the amateur circuit. Once again, a similar shot there from Nicky Lazarus. Not easy to play safe from the red in the balk area. And probably left the safety advantage to Nicky now.
Yeah, it's a very good chance of getting that cue ball down behind green and yellow.
Actually, I think Pat may have made a mistake there with the safety shot. If he'd have played the red to the left of the table, as we look now, and played to the top cushion, he may have had not so many problems as he's got now. He'll probably be able to manufacture some type of safety shot from this position. Very well judged. Has left possibilities, I think, of pots, but would require pulling one out of the bag, I feel, for Nicky. Difficult to see whether there's a red that goes into the middle pocket from there. And also debatable whether he'll play the long red into the top right-hand corner pocket. Wisely taking his time, not rushing into anything.
Yes, of course that red down at the Vulcan causing problems. Don't want to leave that on. Well, successfully moved that and got out of it pretty well. Developing now into one of those awkward frames where the safety zone is the top cushion. Two reds in the balk area now. That may not be too much of an advantage because he's got the cue ball very close to the top cushion. It's rather difficult for him to play a safety straight now. Come back off the black towards the top cushion. He's played that beautifully. Absolutely perfectly.
One, Nicky Lazarus.
Very well judged there from Nicky Lazarus. Actually put himself in a lot of trouble with that clever shot he played in off the red. Got the chance now, Pat, of rolling this into the middle. Well, that's an excellent shot. Not a lot Nicky could do to that. He played as good a shot as he possibly could there. Pat just slotted it in the middle. Good chance now for Pat. Playing for what looks like 2 reds that go into the middle pocket.
Nine.
And looking very fluent.
Well, this is as good an opportunity as you could possibly hope for. There, the match absolutely all square now. 1 frame each, 25 points each in the third.
Well, he's been unlucky
24.
there. Should have been on a ball. Perhaps didn't put enough side on the white ball, so cannoned into the reds, and there was a little bit of luck attached to where the white ball finished up. Possibly trying the double here.
Pat Kenny, 24.
Pat may be disappointed not to make more of that break, but still ahead for the first time in the match. As we move on, the score's the same, but nearly all the reds now at the baulk end. It's Nicky to play.
And that's what's known as a mess down at the bottom end of the table.
Not a military one. So this looks like a straightforward safety stroke from the red close to the middle pocket there, down the table and back. Oh, he could cut it in fact. I didn't think that was on. What about the cue ball?
One.
Mr. Beat or two there, I would think.
Also looks to have good position on the blue. Off the top cushion, around the back of the pink, and down for a choice of reds. No screwing it in. Played on only 1 red there, which is the one nearest the green.
6. 7.
And things once again looking a little bit ominous for Nicky Lazarus. 5 reds down there in the baulk end, and they're all out in the open. They're all potable.
10.
If he keeps down in this area, he'll need to pot quite a few of these reds to make the game safe for himself.
11.
Well, slightly unlucky.
15.
But a useful lead. And Nicky must be wondering after a good start whether the game's going to slip away for him. He hasn't done a lot wrong at all. This has just been an excellent match. 2 very high quality players.
Pat Kenny.
Well, that wasn't a particularly good safety stroke. Pat shaking his head there. A good pot here could put Nicky Lazarus well back into this frame. Got to take this one on. He hasn't gone. Or has it? Oh, what a time to get a fluke. Might easily have left that red right over the pocket. Nicky Lazarus, 21 points adrift at this moment. 3 reds left after the blue.
Large amount of side on that shot. Came down well. Would have liked to have been on the one near the red. Got a bit too far, a foot further on. And hasn't really got the nicest of positional shots off the red. We'll have to try and probably blast his way out of the balk end of the table. And I'm not too sure whether the shot's straight or he's got a slight angle probably, so that the white ball will hit just before. No, he's going for another one.
False stroke.
But he was a long way away from the pot. Didn't play a particularly good stroke there. Perhaps a few nerves creeping in, perhaps. We're getting towards the end of this match. There's 3 reds left on the table. Pat Kenny with a 20-point lead.
Well, it's getting nervous out there. A couple of reds needed from Pat, and he would have been nearly home and dry.
31, Pat Kenny, 51.
Nicky just hanging on in there, 20 points adrift.
One.
Not a good positional shot there. We'll take the long blue on and screw back for position on the reds. It's a very important ball for Nicky Lazarus.
6. 7.
Well, once again, the positional side of the stroke going a little bit astray.
Yes, Johnny tried, I think, to screw back across the face of the brown. Nearly made it. He may well have been wiser to just play for the brown in the middle pocket there. I'm not too sure of the exact angle. Left himself a tricky little shot if he decides to play the brown and cut the brown.
Pink ball.
Looks as if he's attempting to put the cue ball behind the black.
7.
Not quite hard enough.
Nicky Lazarus.
13 points in the game, and the yellow and the green not in easy potable positions. Caught that one a bit thin.
Well, that's obviously not a very clever thing to do with the last red. But yellow, green and pink are in awkward positions here, so not easy to clear up.
1.
And once again has finished rather in no man's land.
Yes, Nicky tried to hold there for the black. And I think the wise shot now would be to dislodge the pink from the top cushion. Try to snooker behind the black, moving the pink into play, because Nicky's still 12 points behind. Actually needs the pink ball to win. Deciding on moving the green instead. Trying to snooker behind the brown. Maybe a better shot. Doesn't want it in the pocket. He'll be very upset with that.
4.
It's exactly what he wanted to leave, Pat. Not pleased.
Isn't it amazing, Steve, the things that can happen at this game of snooker? You could play that shot 1,000 times and not pot the green like that.
4, Nicky Lazarus.
Yes, decided against rolling onto the yellow and tried to get the two balls further apart, but this is a definite chance for Pat Kenny. May have a little bit of trouble reaching this one. So Pat Kenny goes 11 points in front.
Which means, of course, Steve, that if he puts the green and brown, Nicky Lazarus can still tie with the blue, pink and black.
Looking at the scores, needs the blue, would rather just pop the brown on its own and not worry about the position. This makes the brown slightly more difficult. 3 cushions, I think. Decided to dolly it in.
9.
So one good pot here could settle this final. Playing it into the corner pocket. And that seems to be the frame and match winner. He's trundled this pink over the hole, and Nicky Lazarus will be in dead trouble. Oh, what a tremendous final this has been. And what a great win for Pat Kenny. He becomes the 1990 Thames Snooker Classic champion.
Very well done indeed. My goodness, that was a tremendous match. You didn't start off too well.
No, well, I thought I'd let someone else go in front for now and try and come back. I'm used to coming back all the time, so...
When you think back to that quarter-final where I forget how many points behind you were, but it was a heck of a lot.
Well, I remember...
Several snookers required.
I remember Lee last year when he was behind, I think it was his quarter-final match, and he come back and ended up winning the tournament. So I was just thinking like that.
Well,
After coming back, I thought I could do it now.
Was it really Ray Reardon who inspired you? Because you played him, didn't you, at a Pontins?
It was, yeah.
tournament.
I played him as a 14-year-old. I'd only been playing the game 2 weeks. I knocked in a 50 break and missed a black with a clearance. And he said to me, carry on. He said, I look forward to seeing you in the future. So I took it up from there.
Marvellous. One final question. What are you going to do with the money?
Treat my family. Treat my family. So.
To a holiday at Pontins?
Might be another one, yeah. I look forward to playing Ray again. I fancy beating him now. Fancy beating him this time. So.
You have, of course, got the chance of doubling that.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Should be interesting.
Right, well, let's bring in the gallant loser, shall we? Nicky Lazarus, do you want to come over for a second? Nicky Lazarus, ladies and gentlemen. Can I say very, very bad luck, but thank you for a wonderful final. And the way you started off, you must have thought 1985 was coming back again.
Yeah, I started off quite good. I didn't put a ball in the second frame, did I? I think...
No, it was 100-odd nil, wasn't it, second frame?
That's what happens. If you don't put a ball, you score nil.
So you were right, yeah.
Yeah. And in the third frame, it could have gone either way, really. I didn't want the green to go in. Obviously.
No, that was very bad luck, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, wow.
You're obviously disappointed, but it was a tremendous match, although it might not feel like it from your point of view at the moment.
No, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Right, thank you both very much indeed. And now for the moment they've been waiting for, the presentation of the awards to be made by Don Payne, who's the head of media and public relations at William Hill. First of all, for the losing finalist, Nicky Lazarus, a cheque for £500. And for the new champion, Pat Kenny, £2,500 and the William Hill Trophy. Right, now we come to the challenge match, Steve, where you've got everything to lose and not very much to gain, really, have you?
Well, it's a difficult situation for me. One frame of snooker is anybody's game, as I've learnt from all my pot black experience in the past.
I don't know why you do it. Why do you put yourself through this every year?
Well, funnily enough, it's just as enjoyable. For me, there's no disgrace in losing, because, of course, Pat's done tremendous to win the tournament. and a fine player and well capable of getting in one visit and winning the frame. So no, I'm just sort of, I've probably got the experience, I should think, possibly.
Yes,
the
maybe you
advantage
have.
there, and why shouldn't I sort of suffer a bit, and if things don't go my way, I have to sort of wipe my mouth and walk away.
I know he dislikes losing. Anyway, we'll see what happens in a moment. Joining us now is Pat, the new champion, who's had a bit of a break, a bit of a breather. Any time for practice? Not really.
No, not today.
How do you feel about facing up to Steve, then?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'll go out there and enjoy myself. Looking forward to it.
Do you feel you've got everything to gain and nothing to lose?
Yeah, experience. Got a lot of experience to learn.
Mind you, there is a tasty little cheque there for £2,500, should the improbable happen.
I don't think of that.
Don't you?
No, I don't think of that.
All right, well, all I can say is may the better man win, and off you go, fellas. Thank you.
Entry of the Gladiators for this, the climax of the 1990 Thames Snooker Classic, the annual one-frame challenge match between the winner and world snooker champion Steve Davis. A chance for this young man to double the cheque that he's already received for £2,500 if he can beat Steve Davis in one frame of snooker. And it's Steve Davis to set the balls in motion. Well, not the best break he's ever made. The ideal position is to get that cue ball tight onto the ball cushion. It is a little bit short of that. This is the 6th year of this competition, and in that time, Steve has been beaten on 2 occasions. Nothing wrong with a shot like that. Perfectly played safety stroke. But he left an easy one on for Steve. Send the cue ball back to the ball end. So quite an ordeal this for young Pat Kenny. He's only 18 years of age, but he's shown in winning this competition that he's got the right temperament for the game, for the big occasion. Oh, and what a cracking pot that was. Well, he's certainly not overawed.
8.
Long straight red into the baulk pocket and could come back a few inches for the black. I've rather overdone the screw and left a rather nasty black. I don't think he'll take that one on.
Pat Kenny, 9. 1.
The world champion gets off the mark.
5.
There is a red at the back of the pack that he can get on. But may elect to go into the pack from this shot and try and split the reds out now. He's played for the one that is on, but the bump of the middle pocket's rather got in the way of that.
8.
Looks as if a safety stroke is the order of the day. Or is there perhaps a plant on there? Steve having a look. There you see it, or saw it. It looks possible.
9.
Very serious looking Steve Davis. He realises how good a player Pat Kenny is. Now this time coming through for the red that's at the back of the pack. And it almost looks as if the black will go as well into the other corner pocket. Got the angle to get on that, if it will. And looks to be another plant
19.
on there.
Twenty.
Steve not getting the desired position this time. And it just occurs to me that last month Steve Davis was playing another product from this Cockney Classic, as it used to be known, Brian Morgan, who has already graduated through to the professional ranks. Be a pro in a couple of years' time. Certainly a very, very good player.
Steve Davis, 22.
So Steve having to be content with 22 points and playing a containing stroke there, leaving nothing on.
Touching ball.
A chance here to get rid of that red at the ball can that's causing all the trouble. Couldn't play safety shots down there while that one was there. Well, looks as if he can get through to this long red. If he could pop that one in and stay where the red is, he'd be nicely on the black. We'd also be leaving a red on into the middle there, so it's a dangerous one. And then it goes as sweet as a nut.
Eight. 9.
Certainly got tremendous composure, this young 18-year-old player. Now, has he nudged one out? Looking at the possibility of a plant, but also, of course, we'll have the safety shot in mind. Cue ball will be going down to the ball can.
$14. Hot Kenny.
Pat Kenny regains the lead by just 1 point. He's played a pretty good safety stroke here. Well, Steve misjudged that one, wanted a little clip on the red on the way back to take the cue ball back to balk, but caught it rather too thickly. And the reds are beautifully split. Unfortunately, one of them is just getting in the way of the black a little bit, but this is certainly an opportunity.
1.
Settling to go down for the blue. What a great chance this is.
Six. Seven.
And if this young man can contain himself here, there's no reason why he couldn't pot the lot from this position. And what a few days he will have had if that happens. Came back from the dead to win his quarter-final match against Joe Delaney. Something he'll remember for the rest of his life, I'm sure. And there's certainly nothing to stop him now. You'll never get a better chance than this.
21. 22. 29.
30 points in front now, and the frame at his mercy.
30.
A little bit straight on this black, so he'll be leaving himself perhaps a little bit longer red than he would have liked. Looking at the pink, going back to the black. Now this is the one that matters.
37.
Of course, he is 38 points in front. It had escaped me for the moment, so there's only 35 on the table. So Steve, in fact, already requiring a snooker. And Steve realizes that from the look on his face. That's got to be end of frame. What a performance from this young man. And what a prospect for the future this fellow is.
41.
Just 18 years of age.
43. 46.
So just the brown, and he's in some more money because a break of 50 or more qualifies for £1 a point. So it's certainly all happened for this young man in the last 3 days. An additional £55 now. Oh dear, what a pity, but he's quite happy, I'm sure. The match goes to Pat Kenny, wins another £2,500 plus £55 for the break.
Well, Pat, what a few days this has been for you. I mean, you were really dead in that quarter-final. You needed 4 snookers. You get through that, you win the tournament, and now you beat Steve Davis. What's next?
I don't know. No, I couldn't ask for nothing more.
You said it hadn't sunk in that you'd actually won the title, let alone beating Steve on top of it.
It hasn't. Funny enough, I felt more nervous in that than I did in the final.
It didn't show, I must say. And, of course, you're £5,000 better off, although you said the money isn't the most important thing to you.
No, it's not.
What is?
Winning the tournament, beating Steve.
What about the future for you now? Yes, that went down well, didn't it? What about the future for you, Pat?
Well, I'm hoping to turn pro in March. Hopefully I can do well in the playoffs now and see what goes on from now.
All right, shall we call in the maestro, Steve? Well, as you say, when a player of Pat's ability gets in there amongst the balls with a chance, there's not much even you can do.
That's right, and hark back to the words I said at the start of the tournament. The players now around the amateur scene are every bit as good as the professionals, and I think it's about time that the game was opened up and everybody given a fair chance at playing in the big tournaments.
Thank you very much, Steve, and a thought-provoking note on which to end. 3 days of tremendous drama here, culminating in a final fit to grace any major professional tournament, and what do you know, a real turn-up. Pat Kenny, well, he nearly died in the quarter-final. He made it all the way through. He's done the lot. He's in the money. Good night.